Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Sunday, June 3rd. We welcome you back to AA Garthwaite Stadium for the visiting Ottawa Outlaws at 2-5 against the home team Philadelphia Phoenix at 2-5-1. There are a lot of imbalances in the schedules this year because so many games have been postponed due to inclement weather. We lost meaning we didn't get to play the rest of the New York Empire game the last time we were out here because lightning and rain were so abundant we didn't even get a quarter in. Today we have the Philadelphia Phoenix awaiting the pull from the Ottawa Outlaws. And lining up with the disc is going to be number 17, Jeffrey Bevan, pulling for Ottawa. And we have our offensive line out here of Dustin Damiano, Ethan Peck, Mike Arcata, Ben Davies, Sean Mott, and Himalaya Meta. I don't see Trey out there just yet. Yeah, there he is. He's the dump. Up the middle here to Meta from Ethan Peck, moving it easily to Ben. Davies faking a backhand and then giving it back to Ethan. Already inside Ottawa territory, easy swing to Mike Arcata. There's a very nice breeze going on here today. Great catch by Himalaya Meta, just stretching out to rein that in. And Trey talked about some strategies that the Phoenix will be employing to basically use small ball, which you're seeing a terrific example of here. And an easy, I spoke too soon. Damiano drops it.
Bailey, you get him every time.
Don't I? The announcer's curse. We got to give him that turn. Sorry, Dustin. What a great play, though, in terms of the movement for the Phoenix. And joining me today on microphone is our timekeeper, Steve Leinert, who is pulling double duty. Steve, good to have you back.
Thanks, Bailey. Thanks for having me. And a nice block.
Sean Mott with the big block right out of bounds. And the Phoenix will be getting that back at their own 30, and at the Ottawa 32. Ethan Peck will be picking it up.
One of the nice things about this venue is if you just look up at the trees, you can tell how windy it is nearby. Oh. And there's a normally short-handed Trey Katzenbach having trouble with just an easy swing pass, and that's what it's going to be like all day.
It really is. Pulled in there by Ottawa, and not in the goal yet is number 11, Matthew O'Brien, looking for a dump or a pop for the score. He gets a dump to the face mask wearing 89, who I don't have on my copy of the roster. Who is that? That's Nick Boucher.
Big break to
Nick
start
Boucher,
the game.
The player coach.
Ottawa's only 2 wins have come against the Phoenix this year.
And Phoenix gets broken here on the very first point. Not the way they wanted to start this game. But you have to say the strategy looks right. I mean, they're doing the right stuff. They got the disc, they dropped the pass in the end zone, but they worked it down the field beautifully. There was very little stress and strain.
Well, meanwhile, Ottawa was they chose to take a kind of a deep shot, and it got the disc at least into Philadelphia territory.
Yeah,
and they were able to convert after that. But this wind is definitely going to be tricky today. It seems to be coming from side to side, a little bit more than upwind, downwind. So we'll see how it all works out.
Yeah, and the Phoenix starting again on offense here. That's Nick Patel back in the end zone.
Nothing's going to come easy here.
No, he double team on Ethan Peck, but he pops right through the cup to go to Dustin Damiano. And another drop. Ryan Brown popped it out to Dustin. That's 2 for Damiano right off the bat, which I know he's not happy about.
And
an
Ottawa turnover.
Ottawa turns it over with a bad throw. Nick Patel going up high to get it from Trey Katzenbach. He is double teamed. Looks like there were sort of some pass-through triple teams there. Ethan Peck from Dustin Damiano. Back to Dustin. Yeah, the cup is vulnerable there. Trey Katzenbach in the middle. These guys are going upwind, which is usually the case here.
A lot of fronting going on.
Yeah,
Esser's wide open going deep, but there's no way they can get the disc to him.
No, the wind is too brisk to get it up that far reliably. Nice low backhand, Ethan Peck. Dumping again to Trey with the double team.
If you get lazy at all and don't bend your knee when you're throwing into this wind, you are not going to get it there.
Yeah, Matt Esser with a nice grab up to Nick Patel, who gets it to Ethan Peck for the goal. Very nicely done. Nick Patel with an assist to number 24, Ethan Peck. Again, a nice workmanlike goal that ties the game at 1 for Philadelphia.
See if Philly can get a downwind break here and get back on the right side of the horse here.
Would be good.
You can just see that disc wobbling in the window, can't you? Yeah, every time somebody goes to throw it, it is just bobbing and weaving, man.
Yeah. It's very difficult in circumstances like this. And, of course, steady handling is really prized on this kind of day.
It wouldn't be AA Garthwaite Stadium if it wasn't a little windy or a little rainy or a little thunderstormy.
I'm not going to say what we're glad not to have today because that'll probably bring it on. And here we have the Alexanders, Ken and Derek working the disc up. Obviously, two guys who are going to be very familiar with each other. The first set of brothers here, both sets of brothers are on the O-line, Carl and Laurent Loiseau, sorry. Oh, that is just taken by Mother Nature and dumped on the ground.
That was a big shot by Ken Alexander.
Was it Ken Alexander who turned that over? Yeah,
very interesting choice there. But sometimes when you're going into that wind, you gotta huck it up into that.
Yeah, you got to see if you can keep it in there. And Nick Patel with a big backhand overthrowing Matt Esser downwind. And here you have the opposite problem, of course. Happy to see your man open, your testosterone to throw. And
well, you got to give him a couple more seconds to get further downfield because this disc will carry in that
another
direction.
So we're going to have to give
Mike Garrix used to yell
Nick a turn on that.
Hold the disc in your hand for a second.
Yeah. And the Alexander. There we go. A little high for number 7.
Air bouncy. And a shot to the end zone.
And that looks like a catch.
There's your break.
It is. Who threw that? Was that Nick Patel who threw that?
No. I think it was
7 is Patel.
Oh, it was Patel.
Yeah. And that's who caught that? 20. I'm sorry. 4. Number 4 caught that. Thank you, guys. I'm relying on my crew here. Of course, Martin. What is he doing out there? We don't even have him on the list, of course. That's handy. Number 4.
Always makes broadcasting interesting when the rosters aren't right.
Please. Greg Martin, of course, with the goal, a very nice diving catch in the back of the end zone. And it looks like Philly has gotten their break back. So
big air bounce throw by Ottawa there. Just went right over the intended receiver's head and dropped right into Nardelli's hands. And boom, then suddenly the Phoenix were on the doorstep for the break back and take a 2-1 lead.
And we have our head ref, J.B. Harrington, having a brief discussion with one of the crew as they prepare to start the next point.
As long as he's not yelling at me up here, we're good.
Yeah, Dan Moraski. And we have a really nice upwind pull. Who pulled that? Nick Boucher holding the disc for Ottawa. And again, it's overthrown, but fortunately for Nick, he has a man downfield, Laurent Loiseau. And we get it overthrown into the end zone right over Carl Loiseau's head.
There's going to be so much secondary garbage.
His brother Laurent the turn on that for just a little bit of an overthrow. It is difficult to gauge the effect downwind, and you'll see players eventually here putting the tail of the disc down, or at least trying to, so it'll get mashed back to earth. And we instantly have an Ethan Peck turnover.
First pass turnover
on the right side. Not an auspicious start to the point, so of course Ottawa getting the disc back. We have number 19, Bryce Ring, one of the starting O guys, over to Nick Boucher, comes across to get it back, and then throws it low to Monsieur Loiseau, who puts a hammer downwind into the end zone. And number 10, Ken Alexander, makes a very nice catch on the Loiseau hammer. Was that?
That was brave.
It really was.
Wow. Nice throw by Ottawa there. You got to doff your cap to that one, no question about it.
Taking the chance.
Ooh.
And once again, we have Dustin Damiano, Himalaya Mehta, Mike Arcata, Ryan Brown, Ben Davies, Ethan Peck. And who's the second man in the row? I left my binoculars at home this week, thankfully. The rush to get out here was all the confusion and roster changes. We were a little late putting our information together.
Well, your guess is as good as mine there, Bailey.
We'll get his number. Thanks, Steve. If you see it, give me a shout.
If you could email us or send us something
once
on Twitter.
Again, we have the able help of 302 Sports with Nick Halliday, Len Evans, and Pat Gariantes here in the booth with us. Dustin Damiano swinging back to Ben Davies, who pops it up to Arcata. A nice flick, easily down to Ryan Brown, who fakes the toss to Mehta, tries to clear. He's slipping back to Ethan Peck, or up to Ethan Peck, and it's 88 who has come in.
He's our mystery Phoenix player?
Yes, our mystery Phoenix player, for whom I have no name, but we'll get something for you in just a moment there. And there goes Ben Davies to Dustin Damiano.
Third time's the charm, Dustin.
There we go.
It's tough out there, man.
Yeah, it really is. Even downwind, it's tough, and you can see that. So 87 is Dave Wenzel, but I don't know who 88 is. I'm trying to find if I have him on a past roster, which I don't seem to.
I think he's one of the newer guys that they signed off the practice squad, maybe. I know a lot of the some of these players on both teams are at the New York warm-up, which is the first installation of the club series for USA Ultimate in the fall. So
yeah,
the Phoenix are missing a few guys. Ottawa's missing a few guys. Ottawa, I mean, you have some nice tidbits on why the Ottawa guys aren't here.
Right, yes. We hear that the regular head coach, Adrian Mertens Kirkwood, is expecting twins any day.
God bless. I hope he's getting enough sleep now.
Amen. He and his wife both. And number 14, Mike Lee, also expecting a baby any day. Matt Esser with a point block on number 11 over there. Matthew O'Brien. Ooh, nice and a nicely
Nardelli.
roped in shot by Nardelli. I think that's Eric Nardelli. Oh, it's tipped and caught by Ottawa. A little teeny over the back there, but I don't think they're going to get a call on that. And we have, that's number 2, Dylan Smith, who's come in for the Phoenix. Just couldn't quite rope that in. Oh, geez. That was a great opportunity for the Phoenix to take that disc if they had just stopped and made the effort. Ottawa on the doorstep. Number 9 holding the disc, Derek Alexander. Swings it out wide to number 10, Brother Ken. And then comes back for the
a lefty scoober.
Lefty thumber scoober. Back over to number 9, Derek on the left side, and he puts a big hammer into the back of the end zone for the Ottawa score. So we have Derek with the assist to number 16, Laurent Loiseau.
Now, you notice Ottawa's taken some chances with the disc, throwing it upside down. It's been 2 hammers they've thrown for goals now, and that lefty thumber scoober, whatever you want to call it, that it just popped out there. The Phoenix are maybe playing conservative a little bit to a fault.
Yeah, it could be.
Especially the last the way things have gone the last couple of games for them. You know, it would be nice to see somebody try to open it up on their end every once in a while.
It would.
Not having Dave Bear here is a
liability for the Phoenix for sure. Looks like I'm missing one of my Phoenix scores here. I'm sorry about that, folks. Doing both score sheets here because
we're pulling a lot of duty up
right,
here.
Right, Steve and I are both pulling double duty. So number 17, Jeffrey Bevan, gives a big loopy pull that just makes it to the 30 and then rolls up to the 24, where Arcata taps it down. Dustin Damiano pops a backhand up to Ethan Peck, who's trying to get out of that stall. Sean Mott finally comes back to help him out. And over to Dustin. Ben Davies cutting but not getting open. Ooh, and he out-throws. We're going to have to give Dustin another turn on that. He out-throws Himalaya Meta for the turnover. And Nick Boucher is working to 88 Cantal, who was the receiver on the last goal. Bevan back, and a nice backhand to Nick Boucher, who's pretty much wide open for the easy goal. All right, so Bevan with the assist to Nick Boucher. And Nick today is player coach. I did not find out why he's wearing the headgear, but I'm sure it has to do with a previous injury to Face. Probably a backhand across the bridge of the nose, knowing Ultimate players.
Maybe it's a fashion statement in Ottawa that they're trying to do there now.
Yeah, the
little face mask action
right.
Out at the club.
In honor of the Sixers, perhaps?
Maybe. Phantom of the Process?
Yeah, Phantom of the Process. He looked good in that black face mask, I have to say. I thought that was a very hip-looking apparatus. So back on the upwind side for a change on O is Dustin Damiano, Ethan Peck, Trey Katzenbach, Sean Mott, and is that Ryan Brown? Yes, Matt Esser and Greg Martin.
Esser's playing pretty well today.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Again, I'm calling Eric Nardelli Greg Martin. My bad, Eric. I know you're upset with those misnamings, and I'm trying to get – oh, Matt Esser with the drop.
And I just jinxed him. And I jinxed him that time.
That is so rare. Ottawa, O'Brien with the disc, number 11, looking to go end zone. He puts up a Blady.
Nice
think
defense.
That Nardelli D's up.
He got a hand on it.
Very nice play.
He tried to blade it in there. Nardelli wasn't having it.
That's right. We're going to give Nardelli the D on that puppy. And it looks like Trey is going to bring it in with Dustin Damiano as his swing and Ethan Peck as his first cutter. Sean Mott is second in the queue, Nardelli third, but Matt Esser breaks to the sideline and then clears. Trey over to Ethan Peck, who came back, and we have an injury on Ottawa. Number 71 on the ground, Khalid Al-Zarani, and it looks like something he did to his face.
Yeah, he's bleeding.
He caught an elbow or something. J.B. Harrington giving us a clock correction there. 2:47. And Ethan Peck holding the disc. Number 11, Matthew O'Brien on him. Trey and Ethan. Oh, Ethan going downwind with a big Blady flick that Sean Mott ropes in nicely. Ryan Brown is deep now, but coming back. We have Nardelli wide open on the other side, puts up a big flick, and perfect for Sean Mott. Eric Nardelli, nice pull.
We needed somebody to take that shot into that wind, and there it was. It opens things up for you.
Oh, that's true. I'm sorry. They're going upwind, not downwind.
Now Ottawa has to play a little more honest on D. They can't just front the Phoenix. With fear of going deep, that's a big goal for the Phoenix.
Yes, it is, to tie it back up again. Still down a break, of course, because they had the disc first. It should be up one and even for them. But this kind of game, this kind of weather, we could see anything for the rest of this half. 2:27 left in the quarter. And it looks like Greg Martin is in to pull. We have Casey Vaughn next to him. And number 2, Dylan Smith. Nick Patel, Matt Esser. And Eric Nardelli still on the field. Ooh, a little thummy scoober that Patel almost picks off.
That was
up to 16. Loiseau, Matt Esser quickly on mark. Dumps it back to Ken Alexander, and he turfs it. So Ken with the turnover there. That's his second. Nick Patel swinging back to number 2, Dylan Smith. They're going the wrong direction, but they get it upfield to 85. And that is also someone I don't have on the list. Campanello, that's right. Mike is back in. And the goal to Nardelli. Esser threw that.
Esser came back to the disc for that pass, and it was necessary for him to attack that, because if it wasn't, it would have been a D by Ottawa. Esser smartly attacking the disc, and then with the easy dish for the goal. And Phoenix now take a 5-4
lead. There we go. Jinx, you owe me a Coke. So we have now the O-line again of Ethan Peck, and Nick Patel is staying out. Trey Katzenbach. We also have Dylan Smith staying out. Sean Mott. And next to him is that Dave? No, who's? And Greg Martin on the far end. I'm just trying to read that disc. James Pollard, I think, 17.
Yeah, Pollard's out there for sure.
Yes. And, a tough pull gets up to the 24. The Alexander Boucher cutting back to him on the near sideline. Alexander looking away for a little scuba over the top. And a big flick into the end zone. But he's got 2 Phoenix to deal with, and Pollard easily takes this away. That's a thing that you have to really say is Alec Arsenault's turnover, because it was just an ill-advised throw into traffic. I'm not going to give that to a receiver who's a head shorter than the defender, actually. And we have Trey Katzenbach and the Phoenix moving it up quickly. A nice flick out to Greg Martin, who's going to take this in at the 9. Waiting for Pollard to come up. He dumps to Ethan Peck, who finds Mr. Pollard all alone in the end zone.
Bookends for Mr.
How
Pollard.
is that? Yep, we got the bookends for James Pollard. We got Ethan Peck with his first goal, his first assist, rather, which I don't want to say it's about time, but it's a good thing. We always expect Ethan to be high on the stat sheet. He's raised expectations up here in the booth.
I think Ottawa's taking a timeout.
Timeout. There we go. Jim Lloyd down again, one of the nicest guys in the AUDL, and a great help to us with roster changes and all this kind of thing. Ottawa huddling up. Nick Boucher, prior to the game, I asked him what he was expecting, what kind of situation. He said, well, our previous games, he basically admitted that, it's always an advantage to play home when you have a bigger, fresher roster than the visitors who, as they travel, both the American teams in the East who go north and the Canadian teams who come south, obviously try to maximize their travel time, so they play a game each day on the weekends. And, even though as tournament club players they're used to playing a few games a day, at this level in a timed game, which is typically double the score of a game that goes to 15 in terms of gross points, it's not easy. So
the Canadian trip, going both ways, them coming here and us, the Breeze, the Empire, the Phoenix going north to Canada. Right. That is a hard gauntlet to run. It's almost like akin to the Texas road trip in the NBA when you got to play San Antonio, Houston, and Dallas.
Right.
Back in the day, I mean, you were not getting out of that alive.
Of course, Steve is speaking here as the former head coach of the Phoenix, so he's been on his share of those trips.
Yeah, and you can definitely see fatigue as a factor. And Ottawa last night was in a knockdown, drag-out brawl with the Empire that the Empire ended up pulling out in the fourth quarter, but they were battling all the way to the end of that game, and there was no rest for the weary.
Right.
The Phoenix, meanwhile, were kicking back at home, waiting for them to come on down the turnpike.
That's right, and of course that means that Ottawa's playing 2 games within 24 hours because they played a night game last night.
And like you're saying, these are like 2 high-level ultimate games each day.
Right. One for dinner, one for breakfast. We have Nardelli with a nice pull. And we have an ill-advised scuba over the top that Mike Arcata knocks down, but we're going to get a contact foul over the back on that. I don't think it's unreasonable.
No, that was a good call.
It's a good call, and the Canadian player. The Ottawa guy is just, picking it up. I think that's Paul Renault, 52. I'm sorry, that's Alec Arsenault, of course. And immediately, is that Esser who D'd that up?
Yeah, it was a bad pass.
Oh, bad pass. Okay,
but it was D'd up by Esser, for sure.
Okay, we're going to give Arsenault the turn on that then as a bad pass. We'll take Mikey's word. And there we have the goal. Who threw that, fellas?
Arcata threw a little dishy up the in the front corner of the end zone.
To number 96. Casey Vaughn with his first score. And Mike Arcata with his first assist. And first stat of the game. Also a rare thing. Mike, I heard, just blew it up in Canada there. He was tearing things up. So, Phoenix out to a 7-4 lead. And this is a happy turn of events for them, of course, and kind of what they're getting us accustomed to here at home.
Well, Ottawa's frustrated now. They took that timeout hoping to right the ship, and the Phoenix did what I like to say, they stole their timeout.
Yes, right.
By going out and scoring after it. Now one of the Ottawa players came over to the sideline and booted the 20-yard line marker into the stands, so I can't imagine that's going to go too well.
And Greg Martin with a very nice upwind pull that's going to come down at the 2. And we have number 30, Greg Ellis, popping it over to number 9, Derek Alexander. Swings it to Nick Boucher, who pops it up here to number 16, Laurent Loiseau. Oh, and a bad scooper that Derek Alexander reins in for him. Thank you, Derek. We have a sideline catch by Boucher over there with Nardelli on the mark and a big flick into the end zone that is easily dealt by the Phoenix. And that is the end of the quarter. So a nice way for things to end for the Philadelphia Phoenix. Welcome back to AA Garthwaite. And so far, so good. Breezy and overcast, but really a beautiful day for Ultimate. It's cool. It's crisp. Nobody is going to be in stifling heat, and that's got to help the Canadians play in their second game in 24 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll join you for the second quarter anon. For Steve Leinert, it's Bailey Saul. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, I loved that you guys talk about cancer awareness, and it's more about body awareness and knowing their own bodies.
And I think Eric is a wonderful way to bring this into school. You come with a complete program.
The information is good. It's presented in a very professional way. The instructors do an excellent job.
I think the kids overall had a great time. I can see from their responses that they want us to get some more Ultimate discs in the school, and that we'll be playing all the way into the spring and summer.
We really appreciated you coming out. We love the message you guys send.
Yeah, thank you for coming out.
Thank you, Eric, for coming out to the Pittsburgh area. It's a great experience for our kids.
Thank you for sharing your message with the kids. We really appreciate the energy that you've brought, and I really encourage anybody else who might be interested in this program to bring them on in.
Yeah, I love.
All right, we are about ready to start the second quarter, and my partner has absconded with the clipboard and left the booth and is trying his darndest to find out the names of these players. Meanwhile, it's Steve Leinert here for Bailey Saul. Hopefully will be making his way back to the booth shortly. And the Phoenix will start the second quarter with a 3-goal lead, up 7-4, and they will be pulling upwind to Ottawa. And this is you guys think this is a crucial goal for Ottawa to come out here. I mean, if the Phoenix get a break to start the second quarter and go up to 8-4, this could be a runaway afternoon here for the Phoenix. And I know they've been waiting to get Ottawa here in AA Garthwaite Stadium since traveling up to Ottawa for 2 losses after a hot start to the season for the Phoenix. Here's a big pull by Greg Martin coming down and into the Ottawa end zone. That's a nice pull into this win. Esser's on the mark. Nardelli taking away the lane. Oh, and there's an interception by the Phoenix. Oh, and a bad throwaway. You got to bend that front knee in this wind. Here's back on D, the Phoenix. Ottawa patiently swinging the disc. Bailey, thankfully, joining me back in the booth.
Dave Wenzel is our boy. Of course, they gave me 87 for him. Big hammer. Downwind.
Oh.
Nice grab by Arsenault.
And they needed
Holy
that.
cats. Yes, they did.
What a stick of a catch on a hammer blading away from him. Crossfield in the wind.
Alec Arsenault, did you guys see who threw that? Was that, Was that 19?
He's coming off the sideline like he threw. He's got a big smile.
Yeah,
on
he
his
sure
face.
is.
like he's got the
Bryce
Cheshire
Ring.
grin.
We're going
of
to give
somebody
him that until we hear otherwise.
Got a Cheshire grin like somebody just got away with something with that one. Oh, my goodness. What a catch. And wow.
Dave Wenzel is number 88. I was given 87. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm throwing somebody under the bus for that. I'm not sure who.
Mike Arcata.
Yeah. Steve Liner coming through for me. Okay. So, a nice short pull for the Phoenix that nobody taps down, but Ben Davies picks up and pops over to Trey Katzenbach. Back to Davies, up to Damiano, and he fakes long with a backhand. Double teamed right now. Nice flick out to Ben Davies, who's unmarked, of course.
Way to pivot out of
Mike Arcata diving and not quite getting it. We're going to try it.
Damiano did a great job of pivoting out of that double team, and that shot for Mike Arcata was just out of his reach.
We have to give that to Ben going down, going upwind. Well, wait. No, he's going downwind. I'm trying to see those flags. Yeah. Again, just, these downwind throws almost as difficult as the upwind. The upwind hanging. Ooh. I'm going to give that to Matt O'Brien because he had a hand on that. Mike Arcata on the sideline with a nice flick. And another one, but, sorry, Mike, that's yours.
And Trey turns the mic and looks at him as if that was an unnecessary toss up the line. But the stall was getting high.
Right, and I think on the other hand, Trey is absolutely right that in this kind of weather, small ball, which this team is more than capable of, and we've seen them just execute beautifully doing that, is really the order of the day, especially going downwind when you have a good opportunity. We have an upwind backhand that's going OB. Just doesn't even stand a chance.
It almost landed in somebody's house across the street.
This one is for Bucks County. All right, so, and there we have Ref Dan Moraski placing the disc for Ethan Peck, who is marked by Tyler Sadler. Back to Damiano. And across to Himalaya Mehta, who is
wide open.
Yes, and been open today, but people are having trouble getting it to him. Sean Mott on the near side at the sideline. A little scuba over the top to Mike Arcata. Almost triple teamed. He can almost call the triple team here. Mike Arcata getting it from Ben Davies back over to Himalaya Mehta.
Small ball.
Small ball, that's right.
Keep possession, keep grinding.
That's Trey's mantra everywhere he plays. Nice, very easy to Sean Mott. And Sean trapped on the sideline for a second, looking for a dump. Damiano comes out to get it. Fakes one way and then gets D'd up. I'm not going to give him a turn on that, but you got to give 66 the D on that for Tyler Sadler for the Canadians there. For Ottawa, sorry, I shouldn't say Canadians. These are the Ottawa Outlaws.
Yeah, Montreal and Toronto are both in Canadian.
Paul Renault on the far side, up the sideline to Paul Mensa, who's guarded by Arcata, and Mike has given him the entire up line, but just not letting him get back to the middle. So they have to dump and bring it down. Oh, and it doesn't even get there. That's a turn on 88, which I think Kyle Cantal is his first.
The eighth man for the Phoenix knocking that down.
Yeah.
The wind. Meta with the disc.
That's right.
Nice, easy flick.
Oh, Ben Davies. Did he get in? No. They're marking the field of play. Easily done. Yeah, there we go. Ben Davies to Mark Arcata, who then kicks Ben. Thank you for the assist. Kaboom.
Take that.
Ben Davies with the assist to Mike Arcata with the kick for the goal, and the Phoenix take an 8-5 lead.
Nice patience on that goal line by the young man. The Ottawa has a little discontent on their sideline, it seems.
Nick Boucher is arguing with Al-Zarani over something. You can't really tell what.
Is he yelling in French, or was that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that was English. Okay.
They're trying to work out positioning here. I think
maybe
we have number 10 receiving the disc for Ottawa, Ken Alexander.
Maybe they were just talking about where they're going to go to dinner after the game.
Adam O'Donnell holding the disc now over to Derek. Derek seems to me to be the guy with far and away the most touches on this offense for Ottawa. Over to 16 on the far side there, Laurent Loiseau. Say that fast 5 times. Upfield to Mr. Alexander, who puts another hammer into the end zone for number 17. No, is that number 7? For number 7, Carl Loiseau, who gets the goal on Ken Alexander's big old hammer. And Ottawa really spreading the disc out. I know that I've missed one score on here, but for the 7 I have, somebody different has every assist and goal. Well, I mean, some people have an assist and a goal, but nobody has 2 of anything yet. So they're working well in terms of spreading the disc out. And this time we have coming back out Dave Wenzel, number 88. Thank you, Nardelli, for getting that clear to me. And Trey Katzenbach, we have Greg Martin. Damiano, I'm sorry. Ethan Peck, Himalaya Meta, Sean Mott, and Mike Arcata doing the workman's nose blow on the far sideline. The pull is up by number 17, Jeffrey Bevan. And it's low, but it gets upfield to the Phoenix 22, picked up by Damiano and popped to Katzenbach, who gives it back to him, out to Dave Wenzel on the far side. And Damiano trying to go up line for him. Dave is getting high in the stall. He missed it. He tried to call the timeout, but it was too late. And there is somebody busting long for Ottawa. That is number 30. Pulled in from number 7.
The stall.
Or 17, I think.
He tried to get the timeout. The ref ruled a stall.
Yeah, that was Bevan.
And there's a little bit of a talk going on right now about where between JB and who was our mystery Phoenix player again that you had to go check down?
Dave Wenzel.
Dave Wenzel.
Yes.
And Mr. Wenzel is saying he got stalled.
And Dave Hampson is coming out
to argue as well.
To argue this, too.
Oh, no, there's the other Phoenix coaches out there as well. And was that Vendiet? Am I getting his name correct? Number 12.
Yeah, I'm trying to read it from here, but of course.
I think his name's Nick Vendiet, but I'm most certainly butchering that last name.
Let me check a former roster here. I see no 12. Matthew Lamar? No, that's who I have as number 12, but that's a player.
No,
so
yeah, these guys are assistant coaches for Trey on the sideline, calling timeouts and whatnot. But
so that is
a break for the Ottawa Outlaws.
Well, 2 now. They're back at 8-7 after being down 8-5 and 7-4 at half. So, sort of reining it in here. It's not a good thing for the Phoenix. They need to really score on this one.
They have gotten a little sloppy.
Looks like the wind is now coming across the field from the booth to the stands, which is interesting.
Ottawa double team.
Oh, Ethan Peck just gets it back to Damiano, who fakes the flick and goes to Katzenbach, and they are now in the end zone going the wrong direction. We have a pick called. Trey expressing a little frustration there, taking the disc back in the middle of the end zone. And he's got to go back to it's a 10-yard penalty, so where he was 5 yards into the end zone, he is now 15 yards in. And he's in danger of getting stalled. He and Dustin exchanging the disc a couple of times. Trey looking away to get out and not get a Callahan. Himalaya Meta up to Ben Davies, a little swing out to Trey Katzenbach, and here we go. Sean Mott is in the field of play, back to Trey.
It is so hard to keep your composure when you're in the end zone and the stall count's getting high and no one's coming for you to just not huck it down the field and just get it out of there.
Oh, speaking of which, Ethan Peck on a disc that falls. That's a catch that gets stripped.
That's a catch that was
That's
stripped.
a catch that was stripped.
100%.
Damiano should get the catch there. I'm sorry, folks. Referee's eyes. You got to replay that. He caught that and then got stripped on the fall. And number 7 reining it in over there, Carl Loiseau on the far sideline. Big loopy hammer and thrown to Nick Boucher for the goal, and the game is tied. That's unfortunate. I think that's something you really have to be on top of. He absolutely caught that, which simply means he stopped rotation.
Well, he caught it. It was stuck in his hand, and the Ottawa player was also diving, and he happened to slide over his arm,
over the
which caught the disc and pulled the disc out of Damiano's hand.
That's a shame.
And J.B. Harrington was backpedaling downfield, and I guess did not have the vantage point.
Must not have, because I'm sure he would have called it had he seen it.
That was, like, from our vantage point anyway.
Yeah.
We both agree that was
100%
a catch. And unfortunately, now, like you're saying, now the game is tied.
Now, if he hadn't been touched and he'd hit the ground and dropped it, that's his turn. But when a player falling knocks the disc out of your hands, that is the textbook definition of a strip.
I'm surprised Dustin didn't get up and
protest absolutely
a little bit more, to be honest. So
call in the other refs and see if they can figure that out. So here we have on offense, Matt Essers tamping the disc down. Dave Wenzel is out there. Dylan Smith is back out. Nice crossfield to Eric Nardelli. And dropped by Ryan Brown. Bummer. There's another turn.
Classic catch throw before you catch it.
That's right. And we have a big goal, number 71, in the end zone over Nick Patel. I don't know who threw that. Did you guys see? That's Khalid Al-Zarani who caught it. Was that Boucher who threw that?
I missed it.
Or it could have been
this is where we're missing Shaggy
21, right.
And that steadying influence in the booth.
Froats. 21, we have a guy, Froats, out there. Well, he's probably in somebody else's jersey.
Looks like that was a Phoenix timeout. Is that right?
Yes, I think so, now that they're down 1 from up 3. From up 3. Yeah, so that's 1 timeout each this half.
Well, and Ottawa's already scored 5 goals in this quarter after only scoring 4 the entire first quarter, which means they look like they've found a little bit of rhythm. Maybe the yelling at each other on the sidelines and getting each other fired up a little bit. Maybe they just needed to wake up a little.
I'm sorry, 7-4 at the end of the first quarter. I've been saying half. You're right.
Some teams get fired up when other people
right.
get fired up.
Right.
And it's infectious. It can be infectious.
And that's what we see happening with Ottawa, a little discord there that's generated some positive results on the field. A little energy, a little friction perhaps, but, the regular things that teammates overcome.
Sure, nothing.
Ask the Cleveland Cavaliers.
LeBron's look at J.R. Smith
oh, my God.
in infamy will not.
I just feel so bad for JR. That's one of those.
Everybody was yelling at their TV going, what are you doing?
Yeah, the brain fart on the court.
Goodness.
You can't. That's just terrible. Really hard to live with.
So now let's see if the Phoenix can rise,
as an
so
athlete.
to speak, no pun intended.
Yeah,
to meet the challenge here, because
that's their motto. So let's.
Ottawa's playing with some intensity now, and the Phoenix have to match it.
And we have the prime O-line out there, but Ryan Brown coming back to try and make amends for that turn. Mike Arcata, Dustin Damiano, Trey Katzenbach, Sean Mott, Ethan Peck, and Himalaya Mehta. So this is who they listed, with the exception of Ben Davies, as their starting O-line, who would have been in for Himalaya Mehta. Himalaya is, I would say, usually a starting O guy, but this week they were just kind of switching it up.
I think Himalaya has been playing so rock steady that you might want to think about throwing them both ways and at some point going forward here.
Right. No, and we have Ottawa pulling the disc long for the Phoenix. Dustin Damiano taking it in the end zone over to Trey Katzenbach. Mike Arcata on this sideline, dumping it back to Trey. And the boys running upwind again here, so small ball, Dustin getting the disc, dumping it back to Trey, going the wrong direction for just a moment. Himalaya Meta up on the near sideline, about to dump to Trey, getting a little locked in. Ooh, and there Ryan Brown gets a chance to make up for the previous drop. Up the sideline through a hard mark to Ethan Peck, who is double-team trapped on the sideline, dumps to Trey Katzenbach, swings to Ryan in the middle. Nice flick up the middle to Himalaya Meta, who is at midfield and instantly double-teamed, finds the unmarked man in Sean Mott, gets the disc back, and a nice flick out to Ryan Brown, who is going to be tested and passes with flying colors. So Sean Mott to Ryan Brown, and he does indeed get a little vindication there to tie the game.
Trey earlier in the
at
game,
nines.
Trey earlier in the game took a big flick shot downfield into the wind, and it resulted in a goal. There's Mott opening it up a little bit and resulting in a goal. Going in the upwind direction, if the Phoenix can find some courage here to throw into it, it will open up their entire offense.
And that was really nicely put.
It was right on the platter.
Right on the money. Just hung there in the air and did what it needed to do.
And Ryan Brown, you can see, I think he refocused after his drop on the previous point, and that showed a lot of heart for him to come back like that after that a mistake in the previous point.
It sure did. Greg Martin with a nice pull into the end zone for Mr. Alexander of the Ken variety to pull it and throw it up to Derek, his brother, who's looking for that hammer again. Decides to go back to open Ken on the sideline, who throws his own hammer up to 66 Tyler Sadler there, I think. 61, I'm sorry. That was Adam O'Donnell, who just gets it again. And dropping back to Ken Alexander. Over to Loiseau on the far sideline with an easy flick into the end zone, but a bad throw, which Greg Martin pulls down. So we're going to give Loiseau the turn on that one.
Big backhand huck deep.
And a big huck. Oh, that just can't quite be roped in by Colin Massino.
He played the guy and not the disc on that. If he just kept going,
play the
he would have
disc.
had it.
I'm not going to give that to the thrower because I think Colin had a shot at it.
Colin just had to keep running.
Yeah, he did. He definitely had a shot at that. Who threw that?
I think it was Nick Patel.
Nick, who caught the previous real quick there, number 7, Loiseau, over to Alexander.
It really was a nice throw.
Yeah.
Into the wind.
And Loiseau again going end zone, but out of the corner over Derek Alexander. Ooh, Loiseau, another turn. That's his second in as many points. And I'm pretty confident a rare thing for him. On the far side, we have Dylan Smith.
Kid on the sideline got the disc that sailed out of bounds. He thinks he gets to take it home like
baseball. Right. Nick Patel to Matt Esser to Eric Nardelli on the near sideline. Easy backhand in the middle to the aforementioned Colin Massino. And his easy shot up to Smith. Dylan looking to get loose of that. He gets it tipped.
Point blocked.
Point blocked by Derek Alexander, who's going to get the D on that for sure. And there's 43. Buchterlony pulling it up. Ochterlony, rather. Andrew Ochterlony. Easy flick to center field to Alec Arsenault, who puts it up to number 30. And then, Arsenault with a trailing edge catch from Greg Ellis and a big hammer into the end zone, which is a little too happy. Loiseau has to come out to get it. And then Ken Alexander is taking it right on the sideline, gets under Eric Nardelli's outstretched hand to shoot the goal to his brother. So we have a 10-9 assist-to-goal shot there.
Nardelli had that D on the goal, and he could not find it because it was directly over his head. The disc was directly when the disc is directly over your head, it's the worst spot to read it because you have no idea where it's going to go. And the Ottawa player went to the disc, and Nardelli got caught in no man's land.
It's 139 in the quarter. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes.
The light looks bad there. It's lighting up the other box. So we have 139 left, folks. 10-9 Ottawa. Again, the Phoenix down a break, 2 breaks, actually. Well, no, a break because they can tie it here. Excuse me. And we have the Arcata, Damiano, Mott, Davies, Katzenbach, Peck, and Himalaya Meta O-line out there with Damiano to Trey on the first 2 throws to Ethan in the middle. Arcata is instantly cutting long. Sean Mott, we're going upwind here, so we got to be a little careful how far we get out there. Damiano looking for something upfield, but settling for the dump to Katzenbach, gets it right back. Trey moves upfield.
Nice cut by Meta.
And a nice movement by Trey to cut across that lane. Gets it back from Himalaya Meta. Easy swing to Damiano, who's looking for an outlet. On this side, Ben Davies provides it in the middle. Then he misses Arcata coming back up in traffic. Damiano double-teamed right away. Goes dump to Trey. Nice up the sideline to Himalaya Meta at midfield. And he dumps and gets it back and then gets over to Mike Arcata with a big flick. Is it too much?
It is.
It is. Just a little. We're going to have to give Mike another turn there. Okay, Mike. Don't worry about it. It's deep. We have Boucher with the disc. Timeout at 28 seconds. So we're inside with the 30-second rule. And that means any out of bounds or change possession here for a foul is going to be a clock stoppage.
Ottawa with the timeout.
They're up a break and trying to get another just before half here.
After being down 3 to end the first quarter, if Ottawa gets out of here with a 2-goal lead, the Phoenix are going to have to work in this this second half.
I don't think it's going to be hard for Trey to motivate them, though, because they have to be frustrated with that. It's mostly silly stuff that got them in this position. It was not, remarkable Ds by Ottawa, which in the purest sense of the game, it's very hard to do something about a great D play. You just, the guy made a great play. You got to give him credit, but that's not what's happening.
No, they're shooting themselves in the foot right now, and that's the good news is it's correctable.
Correct. Amen.
But I think some of that comes from they jumped out to that nicely. They got a couple breaks in the first quarter, and it's almost like they rested on their laurels for a moment, and Ottawa found a way to summon some energy and some intensity, and now here we are. We're in a little bit of a fight.
Sure, and it's back and forth, and this is what we expected. I mean, I think it's fairly clear these are well-matched teams.
This was not going to be a blowout.
No, and where you thought the Phoenix might change some personnel here, I think Colin Massino and Eric Nardelli in for Katzenbach are the only ones that they've really done. And their receiver gets it. The clock starts. He's double-teamed. A big hammer across the field to number 20, Paul Renault, who dumps it to Ken Alexander, gets a flick back to Renault. And Boisseau and Arsenault is in the end zone. He's going to get this if number 43 doesn't. Ottawa just, right at the goal line. We have a strip by Matt Esser. The clock stops with No.
The clock it ran to 0 before the play.
Before the play ended? So we have a horn at 6, but I think J.B. Harrington has his own clock on. And he's, again, this is on the catch, and I'm not really sure how that happened. He's looking up here and wondering what's going on. The clock had gone to 0 and the horn was late. I think Steve may have to go out there and have a little chat with them to let them know what happened. Failing that, it's going to be another Ottawa goal. And I think JB is giving them the goal and explaining to Matt Esser what's going on. I think JB is going to posit that the clock should have stopped inside the 5. They want 3 seconds left on the clock.
I was trying to get your attention for that.
Goal with 3 seconds.
Goal with 3 seconds?
So JB must be keeping his own clock there, which is probably fortunate for us pulling double duty up here. I'm going to leave Steve alone for the 3 seconds he has left so that he can focus totally on this.
3 seconds, right? Does it say 3 up there?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Dude, there was 3 seconds left on the clock when they had the strip on the goal line. That was a bad call.
Ethan Peck launches it deep, and this is a oh! Holy cats! Look at that! James Pollard with the grab in the crowd. So we're going to go Ethan Peck, number 24. Well, I guess from the Phoenix perspective, it could have worked out worse. Wow, what an end to the half. We have Ottawa 11, Phoenix 10. And, I'm speechless. What a play. So 10 minutes between quarters. Oh, or half. 10-minute half, he's saying. So, ladies and gentlemen, what a play you just witnessed. Ethan Peck gets the disc, and, on the pull, the play starts when the disc is received, is picked up or received by the offensive team. So in that instance, we don't wait for the first throw. We wait for the first touch. And that's why the half ended the way it did. Our timekeeper is going to have a little discussion with the ref crew, and we're going to be back at the end of the half at AA Garthwaite Stadium with the score 11-10 Ottawa over the Philadelphia Phoenix. The Outlaws looking to make it a clean sweep this season, and the Phoenix looking to prevent that. We'll see you soon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much.
This piece with Eric is amazing to me. It's right in line with what we think is critical for kids, and that is to know their bodies.
The kids have really gotten into having speakers here that aren't just their teachers.
And I think the clinicians did a fantastic job. All the kids were engaged, none of them were distracted. They seemed to get into it right away.
I just want to reach out to Eric and tell him, thank you for coming and sharing the message that our kids can speak up. Early recognition is critical, and I look forward to doing more things with Eric in the future.
It's been great for us as a staff and for our students to experience the message you guys have, and highly recommend it for any school that has the opportunity.
Deep finds his homie Sean Mott, 81. Layout goal.
And speaking of all alone, in the end zone, is that Sean Mott? Across the middle to Sean Mott. Big backhand. And he's looking for Will Haney. Manganelli, who pops it long to Sean Mott, who is not going to be beaten to that disc. Ooh, very pretty over the middle to Sean Mott. Easy hammer. Marcus Brownlee on this sideline. with a big flip for Sean Mott all alone.
Oh, Sean
How
Mott.
does he do that? Official, it's back in. And a nice fake over to one side and then thrown deep. Oh! Who was that?
That was Greg Martin with a
Greg
big
Martin.
catch.
Terrific grab.
Got up for that one. That's a big conversion for Phoenix.
Official, it's back in. And a nice fake over to one side and then thrown deep. Oh! Who was that?
That was Greg Martin with a
Greg
big.
Martin. So we have. Oh! Somebody zigged when they should have zagged in Montreal.
Pick it up, Dave.
Does the dump to the man who's
Dave.
not there. Don't underrun it, Matt. Yes, nice job.
Go.
Dave Bair to Matt Esser on the turn. So we have. Oh! Arcata came in at the last second. Oh! Very nice D by Himalaya Meta. We got to give him that one for stretching out there and knocking it down. Gets the disc back for the Phoenix. A little scuba from Trey to Ethan Peck, back across to Meta, who is rewarded with an easy flick to Scotty Zhu, who takes contact on the catch. Arcata came in at the last second. Oh! Very nice D by Himalaya Meta. We got to give him that one for stretching out there and knocking it down. Gets the disc back for the Phoenix. A little scuba from Trey to Ethan Peck, back across to Meta, who is rewarded with an easy flick to Scotty Zhu, who takes contact on the catch. Arcata came in at the last second. Oh! Very nice D by Himalaya Meta. We got to give him that one for stretching out there and knocking it down. Gets the disc back for the Phoenix. A little scuba from Trey to Ethan Peck, back across to Meta, who is rewarded with an easy flick to Scotty Zhu, who takes contact on the catch. Arcata came in at the last second. Oh! Very nice D by Himalaya Meta. We got to give him that one for stretching out there and knocking it down. Gets the disc back for the Phoenix. A little scuba from Trey to Ethan Peck, back across to Meta, who is rewarded with an easy flick to Scotty Zhu, who takes contact on the catch. Arcata came in at the last second. Oh! Very nice D by Himalaya Meta. We got to give him that one for stretching out there and knocking it down. Gets the disc back for the Phoenix. A little scuba from Trey to Ethan Peck, back across to Meta, who is rewarded with an easy flick to Scotty Zhu, who takes contact on the catch. Arcata came in at the last second. Oh! Very nice D by Himalaya Meta. We got to give him that one for stretching out there and knocking it down. Gets the disc back for the Phoenix. A little scuba from Trey to Ethan Peck, back across to Meta, who is rewarded with an easy flick to Scotty Zhu, who takes contact on the catch. Arcata came in at the last second. Oh! Very nice D by Himalaya Meta. We got to give him that one for stretching out there and knocking it down. Gets the disc back for the Phoenix. A little scuba from Trey to Ethan Peck, back across to Meta, who is rewarded with an easy flick to Scotty Zhu, who takes contact on the catch. Arcata came in at the last second. Oh! Very nice D by Himalaya Meta. We got to give him that one for stretching out there and knocking it down. Gets the disc back for the Phoenix. A little scuba from Trey to Ethan Peck, back across to Meta, who is rewarded with an easy flick to Scotty Zhu, who takes contact on the catch. Arcata came in at the last second. Oh! Very nice D by Himalaya Meta. We got to give him that one for stretching out there and knocking it down. Gets the disc back for the Phoenix. A little scuba from Trey to Ethan Peck, back across to Meta, who is rewarded with an easy flick to Scotty Zhu, who takes contact on the catch. Arcata came in at the last second. Oh! Very nice D by Himalaya Meta. We got to give him that one for stretching out there and knocking it down. Gets the disc back for the Phoenix. A little scuba from Trey to Ethan Peck, back across to Meta, who is rewarded with an easy flick to Scotty Zhu, who takes contact on the catch. Arcata came in at the last second. Oh! Very nice D by Himalaya Meta. We got to give him that one for stretching out there and knocking it down. Gets the disc back for the Phoenix. A little scuba from Trey to Ethan Peck, back across to Meta, who is rewarded with an easy flick to Scotty Zhu, who takes contact on the catch. Arcata came in at the last second. Oh! Very nice D by Himalaya Meta. We got to give him that one for stretching out there and knocking it down. Gets the disc back for the Phoenix. All right, Pat, whenever you're ready, buddy. And, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second half of the Ottawa-Philadelphia game here. Thrilling end to the first half. Yeah, right. Thrilling end on the first half on many levels, apparently. So I think the net result of this is that it was mishandled by us up here. But the interesting outcome is that each team got a goal they probably were not entitled to. What am I hearing?
I think I'm back on the air with you, buddy.
Oh, good. I'm hearing commentary from another source. Sounds like another game is going on somewhere. Oh, that's our PA announcer, Eli, from across the the field. Okay.
It's the same game.
Yes, that's right. Our game. So we again have Trey Katzenbach, Dustin Damiano. Oh, that's right. It's third quarter, same as the first. The Phoenix getting the disc here. Sean Mott picking it up. Mike Arcata out in the left flat. Ben Davies here nearby. And Sean goes to Mike, who is wide open. He snuck back there. Nobody paying attention. Nick Boucher dumps it to Ethan Peck, who almost drops it. And Ethan looking for a dump. He gets a waffly thing out to Ben Davies, who's immediately double-teamed. Open dump Sean Mott, who cuts away and gets it easily in front of Matthew O'Brien, and then puts it way across field to Himalaya Meta for the goal. Nicely done to tie the game up from Sean Mott to Himalaya. And
that is this very skilled and high-level throw Mott just threw a cross-field backhand into the wind like that.
Yeah.
It could have easily sailed over Himalaya's head and out the back of the end zone, but
it's true.
It was just a dime.
Right. It had a nice the key on that throw is the attitude of the disc relative to the wind, and Sean put it perfectly. So it wasn't short, and of course Himalaya, as he often is, seemed to be all alone out there.
about Mike Arcata getting open?
Yeah. Yep. Way open. They were sleeping on that one. And James Pollard has joined the D-line with Matt Esser.
Pollard is getting better and better and better.
Look, Trey Katzenbach's out there, too, with Nick Patel and Eric Nardelli and Greg Martin. And number 23 on the far side, Alan Michel, whom we haven't seen much of today. Nick Patel in the middle there gets over to Adam O'Donnell, who gets it, to Derek Alexander, guarded by Nick Patel. Almost got that. And number 19 ropes it in front of Greg Martin. That's Bryce Ring, who puts up something a little high and floaty to Ken Alexander, who's looking for Loiseau up front. And Nardelli had a shot at that and just missed it. And Trey cannot quite get in front of the Laurent Loiseau to Adam O'Donnell goal, was that? 61, yes it was. Adam O'Donnell gets the goal on that one. And Loiseau gets the assist. And we have the first score of the second half for Ottawa. So 12-11 in favor of the interlopers. I mean the visitors. Visited at halftime by an old elementary school friend who is biking around the western Philadelphia suburbs in preparation for a trip to Pittsburgh.
Did he just stumble upon the game, or was this a destination?
It was a destination. We had spoken about the possibility of getting out here if the weather held up for everybody, and so far, that's me knocking on wood, so good, or actually the underside of linoleum countertop, particle board. I'll settle for particle board today. And now we have the Outlaws pulling pretty effectively upwind. Damiano taking it at the 6 up to Ben Davies. A little low but accurate. Sean Mott cutting outside and fakes a nice big backhand to get Paul Mensah out of his way. And Mike Arcata fakes a flick to do the same thing. Ethan Peck ropes it in at the 2. Taps it just as he steps out of bounds and does a quick little flick over to Himalaya Mehta. And we have a very easy goal for the boys here. That was nice. This is the kind of offensive rhythm we like to see. Really beautifully done all the way down the field. Throws were not hurried or desperate, but they were quick. People found what they wanted to do quickly and just did it, and that was nice to see.
I went down on the field at halftime and watching some of the Ottawa players throwing around.
Yes.
I mean, the wind cannot be understated.
Right.
These guys are making it look pretty darn easy.
Sure.
And the way that Ottawa's going to be going on this point, the disc sails tremendously.
Yeah.
And throwing into the way the Phoenixes are going to go here is very difficult. So what you see these guys doing, like even that pull is.
Greg Martin kept it low.
It's something special to see. I mean, These guys are really doing something that not a lot of people can do.
Got to the 13. You have Alexander to Alexander over to Ochterlony. Andrew fakes the backhand in front of Vaughn there. And he pops a little easy one up to number 52, Arsenault, who puts that deadly hammer out. And Shawnee Mott gets a hand on that thing. We're going to give number 81 a D on that sucker.
No question about it.
Sean, whose vertical game is a lot taller than his actual diminutive height. And I say that given that he's still an inch taller than I am, but he can get up with the biggest of them, and it is one of the great assets for the Phoenix that your defense will often think they have a mismatch when they do not. In fact, we have Esser that looked like Nardelli just getting out of his way, and Esser sort of climbed the back of the defender.
How is there no contact on
gets
that?
It back up to Patel. Patel to Sean Mott, and an easy goal to number 96, Casey Vaughn, for his second in a row for Sean Mott.
If you're ever going to send somebody into a pile, Matt Esser is your guy. That dude is thick and strong and does not mind a little bit of bumping there.
That's true, and fears nothing.
And there was no call, but he got up like he did the wrecking ball move right there.
He did. He climbed over and just took the disc.
That's what you got to do. You got to go attack that disc.
Right, and it really was his. He had the offensive position. The guy sort of came in a little late and underneath him, which is obviously why he couldn't quite make the play. But Matt, with an easy tumble and roll, and dropped to the ground there.
Mott stepping up his game here in the second half. It's good to see.
And it looks like James Pollard is going to now get a chance to pull downwind. We'll see if he can keep it in bounds and maybe trap the Outlaws deep in their own zone for the start of this point. Nice backhand, curling back. It's going to land at about the 25 and roll to the 12 or so. Defense did not clamp too quickly, but at least they're forcing a swing here. Oh, and then a flick up top. Nicely reined in there by 61 Adam O'Donnell, who pops it over to 30 again here on the sideline. Greg Ellis, he gets it to the middle. And that's 66 Tyler Sadler back to O'Donnell. They're going backwards a little bit. Up to 19 Bryce Ring, who's guarded by Nardelli. And Bryce puts a backhand across field with, one of the smaller plays.
They're calling a stall. They're calling a stall on the Ottawa player.
Stall. I'll be darned. That's kind of he couldn't get the whistle in, or what happened there? That was Joe Campbell making that call. And it looks like Dylan Smith is going to take that disc for the Phoenix, who was the guy actually beat on the play in the end zone. Nardelli. And he wasn't just beaten because of his height. He was beaten to the far sideline. Easy backhand across to Pollard on the far sideline. And he puts a big backhand downfield. And that is dropped by Casey Vaughn.
Just outright dropped.
Casey Vaughn with two hands.
James Pollard with an impressive backhand throw down the field there.
Talk about a dime. That was perfect. So Ryan Brown on the mark now, trying to keep things reined in there, across to Tyler Sadler, who turfs it. What in the world just happened there? Eric Nardelli with the pickup and the kaboom.
And the big break
the kaboom
for
to Mike Campanella.
And with 7:51 left in the third quarter.
Holy cats. What just happened there?
The Phoenix have scored
Holy
4
cats
goals.
and back. Oh, my goodness.
The Phoenix have already scored more goals in this quarter than they did in the second quarter total. And there's 7:51 left.
How about that? That's an interesting thing. You're right. It was only 3 in the second quarter.
And I'm wondering now if Trey peeled the paint off the walls in the locker room, lighting a fire under these guys, because they're playing like their pants are on fire.
Right, he may have. Greg Martin is lining up for the upwind pull with Sean Mott, Eric Nardelli, Trey Katzenbach, Nick Patel, Matt Esser, of course, and Ryan Brown staying out there too. So Trey is keeping some offensive players. That's a pull that took a nice little lift mid-trip and lands at the 4. And only at the 11, Derek Alexander looking for a little help. Wide open in the middle, Mr. Ellis of the Greg variety. Throws an easy flick up front to 22, who should be Alec Arsenault. But Nardelli doesn't get a hand on it, but it just goes over his head, and that's an effective D even so. So we have
ambitious hammer.
Yeah.
By Ottawa.
Yeah, I think that was Derek Alexander again, and actually I think that one deserves a turn, his first of the game. But, yeah, it's just ill-advised. Trey Katzenbach, easy backhand in the middle to Nardelli. Clearing it out of the end zone, who then looks for a dump. But, and tipped and dropped by Sean Mott, who's complaining that it was a strip or a foul, but getting nothing.
Referees' whistles are silent.
Derek Alexander picking it up on the goal line. He's going to go end zone, and he fakes up top and then goes to Loiseau. So we have Derek Alexander with the goal there. With the assist to Carl Loiseau for the goal. And that is the second point this half for the Ottawa Outlaws. And they climb to back within 1. But about to give the Phoenix the disc again, and we have Wenzel, Arcata, Meta, Sean Mott, Ben Davies, Ethan Peck, And Dustin Damiano out there now. On offense, Trey taking a rest this point. Number 11 for the Outlaws, Matthew O'Brien. 17, I beg your pardon, Jeffrey Bevan with the low line drive pull that touches at the 30 and rolls to the 26 or 7. Damiano picks it up. Looks easy swing to Ben Davies in the middle, who can throw anything around anyone with that length. Sean Mott with the easy backhand inside to Meta, back to Davies. Ben looking for something deep that he likes but doesn't see it. An easy pass to Ethan Peck, who puts a line drive into the turf in front of Himalaya Meta. Ethan with a real...
How many turnovers is that for Mr. Peck?
Only his second, but it's... Oh, and we have an upwind flick into traffic. Ethan gets it back. Ethan gets the D. There we go. Mike Arcata picking it up. Ethan Peck giving the chili sign. Dave Wenzel in the middle, unguarded.
Ethan Peck gave him the chili sign
right.
after that throw that he threw.
Yep.
Give me a break.
Ooh, Mike Arcata just pulls that in over Kyle Cantal and then throws a big backhand to Damiano, who cannot get it. Cannot get it. Touched him in the hands. We do have contact. Dan Moraski calling contact over there. We have a push. We have contact. Damiano did get his hand on that disc. And Moraski centering it for the Phoenix.
I think Ottawa's got a right to complain on that one.
Good news here. There may have been a little contact just before the final cut for the play. Damiano, double-teamed on the line, has to dump it to Sean Mott, who jumps and misses. That's hysterical. And then throws a loopy flick that is picked off. Sean Mott with the instant turnover. That's a case of not reading the wind at all. Ben Davies with a nice attempt at a kick block there to stifle the first throw, but then Alexander gets the second one. Oh, scooped off the ground. Ottawa has just saved the disc again. Number 17, Jeff Bevan. And Nick Boucher with the big lefty backhand. Sean Mott is back there and cannot get position, but does not foul. And O'Brien cannot bring it in. I think that's got to be a turn on O'Brien because he had a little reading issue there. Ben Davies roping it in.
That was a heck of a catch.
Out to Dave Wenzel, a big save. And then he throws it away. Oh, boy, this is going to be one of these points,
yes,
I guess.
It is. It already is, man.
Yeah, right.
Oh, my goodness.
So Davies with the turn on that one. And then Mike Arcata out front easily tips it away from number 20, Paul Renault. Renault is not asking. There was incidental contact there, but certainly nothing.
I don't know. Mike did get his forearm
to
get angle.
Sort of warding, establishing his position, as we like to say.
But I think they rewarded his
big
speed.
Loopy flick by Damiano that Mike Arcata brings in and then is D'd up by Paul Mensah. Very nice play by Mr. Mensah in the middle. And we have Bevins calling a timeout, first one of the second half for the Ottawa Outlaws. With 3:37 left in the quarter at the 18. Whew.
Going into the win, this is a big point for Ottawa. Not a bad timeout call.
I don't think so.
Especially after the marathon of turnovers that we've been witnessing here for the past 2.5, 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. We've had, I think,
a lot of first pass turnovers.
At least 3 each way, right, on this point?
Yeah, at least.
I think so. It's been a little nuts.
I mean, you think about the opportunities the Phoenix had on the goal line, and it's just like some nonchalantness about the way that they are swinging this. Sometimes they're standing straight up. They see a guy open, and they try to deliver the disc, but they're not. It's like their spidey sense isn't on or something. Right. You know what I mean? Where they're not aware of maybe a guy trailing or somebody poaching or that nature.
Yeah.
And that's where you got to, if you just give it a quick little look around before you throw, you can get a little bit better idea on who's going to.
And here we have Eric Nardelli pointing and giving people places to line up. It looks like Nick Patel is going to be on the mark of Derek Alexander. And Nardelli, Brown, Esser, Dylan Smith, and Eric Martin and Casey Vaughn, I think, 96 are out there.
Wait. We're not out. There's no ref in the goal line.
Alexander, we haven't started. You got to whistle in the play. Alexander and Joe Campbell having a little chat, and now it's in to Loiseau on the near sideline at the 12 or 13. Nardelli is just trapping him on the sideline, which makes for an easy catch at the 1, and then an easy goal from number 19 to number 52, Alec Arsenault. So Arsenault with the goal and Bryce Ring with the toss. And once again, we are tied up.
It looked like Lasso there was moving his pivot foot a little bit. He kept like rocking back and forth. And his I don't know, like it's not he didn't gain an advantage by doing that.
Okay, but it's something to keep an eye on.
By the letter of the law, you know, and that kind of depends on what school of thought you come from. But,
right, and here in the pro game, of course, that would be a thrower travel. Once the pivot is established, any travel becomes a thrower travel and therefore a turnover. If you catch it and take steps, that's a receiver travel and is simply a go back. 10 yards, right, from the point of the travel. Damiano to Trey Katzenbach, who's back in on O. Ooh, just up off the ground. Damiano pops that quickly to Arcata. They're going upwind again. Trey, instead of taking the swing cut, crosses the zone and gets it on the right side.
I know by the blade of grass rule, I don't know.
Yeah, that could have been down.
Very close.
Ethan Peck at the 35, which is 5 yards shy of midfield, because these are 80-yard fields goal to goal. Damiano and Ben Davies over to Ethan Peck. The small ball is working, but we're not getting a lot of yardage as a result here. There is also the possibility that Ottawa is sort of inside some of these marks, inside the disc space. Sean Mott on the far sideline looking for a little help. Goes up line to Ethan Peck, who pulls it in and takes a little face shot. Oh, this is not good. I think he caught that.
I'm not going to put the goal up on the board until I see a signal from the ref, because I did not see the ref stop.
Yeah, no, I didn't
signal. Either. And there's substitutions are coming on the field. It looks like a goal. Ethan is definitely hurt. It was a full extension layout. Bailey says he caught it.
We need to ask him. Just yell at him, Steve. Don't be shy.
Goal!
Yes, it is. So that's they are lining up. So there we have Sean Mott going to Ethan Peck, and in what we hope is not a costly fifth goal of this half. Greg Martin back to pull with Nick Patel, Dylan Smith, Eric Nardelli, and
that was a heck of a catch by Ethan.
Came out there with him? No, and Matt Esser, and of course 17 James Pollard.
Radams is one of the guys with playing with Patrol in the New York City, the New York warm-up.
I got you.
The first edition of the.
Oh, because this is I'm sorry, this is Nick Nugent, 18 here. It's not his first appearance today, but it's only his second or third, I think. First time we've seen him this year on the roster. Derek Alexander to Loiseau, a very familiar combination. Nardelli on Loiseau. Carl Loiseau puts it up deep. Number 30 pulls it in very easily. Greg Ellis at the 2 with Pollard on him. Pollard is putting on a good mark, but he gets it to Alec Arsenault, and that's a heck of a catch. Arsenault is just he is very, very athletic and very tough to cover there. And Derek Alexander very hard to stop, too. So Ottawa with their fourth goal of the half and tying it up again at 15s with 2:07 left. Joe Campbell and Dan Moraski having a little chat on the way back.
These guys are throwing their bodies around in this particular game today. I think both of these teams they're both hungry for a win right now.
Well, sure, and they, you know, they're the cellar dwellers in the East, though the East is the records do not reflect how tight this division is. But of course, you have Toronto out at 8-0 in front, and the next best team has 4 losses.
Right.
So how in the world is that with the New York Empire at 4-4, and you have DC at 4-5, I think, or. You know, it's just very tight in the East.
New York beat Ottawa last night, but they were missing Bo Kittredge, Yacht, Babbitt.
Yeah, Sean Mott.
A lot of big guns they were missing.
On the far side, easy up to Mike Arcata. Gets the contact and takes the 10. And number 61, Adam O'Donnell, looking like he's not a fan of the call, but Mike Arcata basically indicated it right away. And he goes over to Trey Katzenbach. Damian in the Dustin Damiano, rather. Oh, and he puts it up too high for Sean Mott. Dag nabbit, that's the 3rd turn for Damiano today.
He's had a couple drops, too.
Sean almost got a finger on that. Here they are at the goal line, going downwind now for Ottawa. Number 20 taking a little gentleman's step out there, Paul Renault, to get some distance. 61 with Mike Arcata now marking him. Little left-hand backhand over to Tyler Sadler. Trey marking him. Sadler with the dump and the miss. Yes, that's a Sadler turnover, number 66, his second.
You got to like it when they throw the dump and it's not complete.
Right, and Trey Katzenbach with the easy flick to Sean Mott, who in turn does the easy backhand to Dustin Damiano. For his first goal, Sean Mott's 5th assist. You hear Nick Halliday clapping here in the back. I think Nick's become quite a fan of the Philadelphia Phoenix. Pat Garriantes, too.
Oh, he's part
I like the noise these guys make up here.
He's part of the family now.
Yes,
we've
and
known
they
each other
are,
for so long.
While we are doing clock and double stats here, they are a great help as 2 extra sets of eyes to help us stay on top of what's happening here.
And I think our friends have learned to love Ultimate after
they
being
sure have,
introduced to
and they've also learned how to watch it. They know what to expect and how
nuances,
things move now.
You know, and this is exactly the type of thing the AUDL was going for.
Right,
was to take fans that weren't necessarily big in the Frisbee. They're now like, hey,
turn them on to it.
I dig this game.
Greg Martin going downwind nicely right into the end zone. But the Phoenix not covering real well. 3 passes out before the marks are there, and they're at the 15 with Octorloni.
We're under 30 seconds.
Right in front of Casey Vaughn. He gets it over to Arsenault. Oh, and Nick Patel stops and takes that out of the sky. Thank you, Mr. Arsenault. That's a very nice Nick Patel. Ooh, easy throw. How is that to Nardelli? From number 26, Colin Massino.
He threw it
with
right
the
to
assist
him.
to Eric Nardelli, and number 7, Nick Patel with the D. I don't know whether to give Nick Patel the D or Arsenault the turn. I think I can give them each part of that.
You give the guy Nick Patel was covering the turn.
Yeah,
because
right.
He wasn't moving.
He wasn't moving enough.
He allowed Nick Patel to stand there and look at the guy with the Frisbee. He just threw it right to him.
And so there we have the Phoenix with their 7th goal of this half to the 4th for the Outlaws, making them up 2 at 17-15. And we have 12 seconds left, so this is going to be a short point. Mr. Leinert is going to be on horn and clock, and I will be taking the reins here for just a moment so he can make sure we get this exactly right.
Which never happens.
Greg Martin with a nice big pull up. Well, it looked like momentarily he had a little help with the wind, abating, and that's Ellis taking it. The first pass is off. The clock is rolling, and Derek Alexander is going to midfield. They do not have any time left. That's too late. That's a no-throw. That is a no-throw, and everybody knows it. Beautifully done, timekeeper. Greg Martin on the interception, so it doesn't matter. And there we go with the end of the 3rd quarter. And now heading into the 4th with the score 17-15. we're going to give our sponsors a few minutes to make a buck and take a little breather. We'll see you for the fourth in just a sec. Thanks, folks.
With Eric is amazing to me. It's right in line with what we think is critical for kids, and that is to know their bodies.
The kids have really gotten into having speakers here that aren't just their teachers.
And I think the clinicians did a fantastic job. All the kids were engaged, none of them were distracted. They seemed to get into it right away.
I just want to reach out to Eric and tell him, thank you for coming and sharing the message that our kids can speak up. Early recognition is critical, and I look forward to doing more things with Eric in the future.
It's been great for us as a staff and for our students to experience the message you guys have, and highly recommend it for any school that has the opportunity.
So this piece
on the sideline, and he jacks it for Sean. Is that Sean Mott? Yes.
Yeah.
With the diving catch. This is what we've come to expect from him.
Sean Mott is a bit of a theatrical player. I think he could have had that either way, but it's fun to see him lay out.
Well, and he knows how to land so that he doesn't hurt it, but his focus is always going to be on catching the disc. Ethan Peck. And welcome back to the fourth quarter, ladies and gentlemen. 17-15 Phoenix. We have Nick Patel on the far side stretching in preparation for the point. Greg Martin with the disc ready to pull. And Eric Nardelli, Ryan Brown, Trey Katzenbach, Matt Esser. And one last gentleman there right next to, is that Casey Vaughn next to Greg Martin? We'll see in a moment. I should know faces better, but without my binoculars from here. Joe Campbell just making sure everybody knows what's going on, and we have the usual suspects lining up for Ottawa. Ochterlony and Loiseau and Alexander and Ellis. Alexander, Derek on O with Bryce Ring out there. And I think, is that Ken? Number 10, yes. Ken Alexander going to take the disc in front of Ochterlony. A nice pull by Greg Martin over to his brother Derek. And back, ooh. Ken fakes the flick around Trey, who doesn't buy it. Patel staying in front of Derek. Derek got a little bit of reach over Nick there. Oh, and the little scuba stuff over top to Ellis. Greg Ellis with an easy backhand.
Ooh, not
that
so
gets
easy.
Mashed. How did that happen? He had the right edge down.
The wind pushed it down.
It sure did. And Trey Katzenbach going over to pick that up. So turnover for Ottawa. And Trey, easy flick up to, ooh, Nick Patel can't quite get that.
You keep saying they're easy, Bailey. There's nothing easy out
there.
No,
I just meant an easy, and not a hard
I know.
throw, but and then Ken Alexander with a drop and a turn right away.
Up. You pointed that out.
Trey Katzenbach back on top of that disc quickly over to Nardelli, who gets some separation from Loiseau. And then you have a nice movement over there by Casey Vaughn, who puts a low line drive into the turf instantly.
If you don't have the muscle, it is not going to get there. This wind is picked up here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it has. The flags are very, very straight out on the pole. Layouts just to make simple catches like that, as you can see. Greg Ellis. Ooh, Nick Patel did not try to catch that. He just put his hand down.
Wow.
Big hammer going too far. Eric Nardelli walking away from that disc.
It is not for the faint of heart out there right now.
No, it sure isn't. And I think Trey has asked Nick Patel to go back and pick it up. They have 10 seconds to get to it.
If I was
Joe
Nick,
Campbell.
I'd tell him you do it.
Yeah. Joe Campbell is calling out. Nick picks it up and goes for the easy backhand to Trey Katzenbach. He fakes the backhand across and then steps up for a flick and an easy backhand instead to Nick Patel, who gets spiked. Hurt. Nick Patel gets spiked by Derek Alexander, who is just a dirty player. I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. That's a joke, folks. I'm just kidding.
Come on now.
It looks like it's a cramp.
Well, either way, it's not good.
No, it's not good. Boy has to drink more water. That's the problem. Yeah, so Derek out. Yeah, it's right. As Nick is pointing out, Nick Halliday, even on these cool days, in fact, especially on the cool days, because you don't expect to be losing that much fluid, we have a timeout called by the Phoenix.
Somebody needs to get Nick Patel some pickle juice.
Something like that, which I guess is,
Andy Reid,
for a cramp, you don't really get to claim an injury, I guess. So there's the first timeout for the Phoenix this half. And Nick is still getting that calf muscle stretched. This is a familiar sight on the sidelines of Ultimate Frisbee fields, especially late in games. And I think they will prepare to proceed without him.
That hurts, by the way. I don't know how many. I mean, to Ultimate players, we've all been sitting in restaurants on a Saturday night, eating our dinner with our teammates, and then all of a sudden someone's chair juts out from the table because their leg stiffens up and they got a cramp. And if you start laughing, you're the next guy that gets the cramp. You know,
it's not a fun thing. Not a fun thing at all. Nick is rolling himself away from the field.
By the way, two and a half minutes in, no goals here. In the second half or fourth quarter.
Having calls for an MRI. We'll see. I don't think we're going to get that far.
Aircast? Maybe an aircast?
Yeah, an aircast. There you go.
Where's the cart?
So we have Arcata, I think, coming in for him. And Himalaya Meta, Ryan Brown, Sean Mott, Ben Davies, Damiano, and Trey Katzenbach with the disc. So a little bit of a lineup shake-up to stay on O here for the Phoenix. They had a sort of O-ish D-line out there. Trey puts it up over everybody, and that is his turnover. That gets squashed by Paul Mensa again with the D, but we're going to have to give Trey a little turn on that just for popping it up too high. Ooh, almost dropped. Arsenault almost blocked. Octoloni across the middle. He's a very long guy. Arsenault with the double team right down to the one for for Paul Renault, rather. Not Octoloni, that's Paul Renault, who gets it into 16, Laurent Loiseau with the assist and Laurent with the goal. So not the outcome the Phoenix were looking for there. But they have their captain to thank for that and their coach. Ethan Peck going out.
Well, we're not perfect, Bailey.
Oh, no. Nobody's perfect out here, right?
Not in this one. Not in this one, they're not.
We have Ethan Peck and Dave Wenzel, Himalaya Meta, Mike Arcata, Eric Nardelli, Damiano, and Mott on the O-line. And with the D, you've got Boucher and Ellis. And 17 getting ready to pull Jeffrey Bevan, who seems to be their guy for this. You also have Laurent Loiseau and Paul Mensa out there. So Damiano with the disc from Ethan Peck. Little fake flick to Arcata. Back to Ethan. And Dave Wenzel sort of open but not, but then open. Getting the disc, taking it on a knee, easily up to Himalaya Meta, over to Ethan Peck. Ethan got a bomb going to Sean Mott. And it's almost sinks early, but Sean takes it in easily to Himalaya Meta from the one into the goal. And that is Mr. Mott's, sixth assist and Himalaya's third goal to get the Phoenix back up by 2 at 18-16.
Mott did exactly the right thing there, going in that direction, which was don't worry about your defender, just keep running and run the disc down.
That's right.
And if he tried to box out his defender and go up, it would have sailed right over his head. And instead, he did the exact thing you should do as a player in this condition. Is just run it out.
He was rewarded because at the last moment that disc came down in a hurry.
Yes, it did.
Dropped about 5 feet just before it got to him. And instead of having to take it over his head, he took it right at about waist level. But fortunately, as Steve says, he was playing the disc and not the man, so he was right where he needed to be. Greg Martin throwing a nice upwind huck that gets exactly to the 15. Derek Alexander taking it from the far side and bringing it over here to to his brother Ken, and then gets it back from Ken in front of Dylan Smith. And he goes back to number 19, Bryce Ring over there, who gets it up to Arsenault. Ooh, a little high for just a sec. It's one of these things, you know, and that little upside-down scuba that Derek keeps throwing could also be subject to the vicissitudes of Mother Nature today.
If the disc gets over anybody's head, it is anyone's guess where it goes.
That's right, and it also has a unique quality of taking an airfoil off the body of the receiver that sometimes will mess it up at the last second. Oh, almost a bladey flick into the ground, but Derek Alexander with a goofy right-handed dying flick.
I can't believe that worked.
Yeah, I can't either. To 22 there.
The wind has been eating up everything, and he throws a high-release flick break mark, and it stays in bounds.
It's a mystery.
Good on you.
We're not sure how that goes, but that was either the Proats or who is that? 22. Proats. Yeah. Yeah, that was a fortunate goal for the Outlaws, no question. So 20, who is 21? Do we have a 21? Froats and a 22. Is 22 out there for the Sorry, folks, we're still looking at logistical issues here, getting rosters straight. We don't like to be wrong, even for our visitors.
You know, we'll get this right by the end of the season.
We will. By the end of the game, maybe we'll have it today. Eric Hunter with the pull for the Outlaws this time. Ben Davies scooping it up, centering to Damiano, who fakes to Sean Mott and puts it back over to Davies for a 5-yard gain, who is now looking to get open and does to Mike Arcata right shy of midfield. Mike with a nice flick to the middle for Ethan Peck. Another easy flick to Ryan Brown, who catches, fakes to the end zone and swings to Ethan instead, who goes end zone easily to Damiano. That's a nice play right there. Simple, direct, quick. Ethan Peck to Dustin Damiano for a very, very efficient.
I was going to say, quite efficient.
Phoenix goal, yeah.
And these are the kind of goals the Phoenix need right now. Just nice, easy, efficient.
Yeah.
You hold on here, you get another W. All of a sudden, you're back in the thick of things.
Yep. And we have Mr. Pollard holding the disc, getting ready to pull. And we have Eric Nardelli, Trey Katzenbach, Dylan Smith, Matt Esser, Casey Vaughn. And joining them out there at the last moment looks like Alan Michel. Is that right, or is that 26? It's Colin Massino, I beg your pardon. There we go. So double team a little bit on that mark. Ken Alexander over here to Ellis. Ellis finds Loiseau all alone. And Massino sort of taking away the sideline lane there. Ellis with a big hammer cross field. A little risky today, but easily roped in over there. Ottawa seems to have a good handle on these hammers, even in this wind. Pollard faked a little bit with the over-the-shoulder that gets to Derek Alexander on the goal. And for the one-footed catch, it's Arsenault. Beautifully done. That's an example. That's, you got Derek's fifth assist, and Arsenault's fourth catch for the goal. Clearly two of their big guns and guys who have seen a lot. I'm going to guess that they're part of GOAT, possibly. These guys, so many of the pro players play on the great club teams. But, yeah, they made that one look easy to get back within one.
You got to be impressed with the way Ottawa's throwing their hammers into this.
And most of them are cross field, which is the riskiest thing if the wind is going end to end like that. You can really get smashed.
But if it works, you open up your offense to some
do.
Easy goals. And
I think the key to a successful cross field hammer is a lot of spin so that the wind doesn't take it much side to side and it gets a chance to flatten out.
Got to have these.
Yep, got to have Z's. Ben Davies picks it up to Damiano at the Phoenix 22. Back to Ben at the 26. Up to Shawnee Mott at the 36. Easy backhand to Ryan Brown. Inside Ottawa territories. Himalaya Meta, again, moving quickly. Ben Davies. This is another smooth Phoenix point. Don't jinx him, announcer. Ben Davies at the 5. And easily into the goal for Damiano, who gets a little bit submarine there, but seems okay. Doesn't take exception, so I won't either. Ben Davies with a very nice play on the assist to Dustin Damiano's. Ben's third assist, Dustin's fourth goal.
I just think Dustin, I know him kind of well. He's such a nice, gentle soul. You know, he's just a genuinely good person. I don't think I've ever seen him complain like about not getting a call or about getting run up on. He's very understanding and like, you know, he kind of embodies.
Yeah, and I don't think that was a dirty play.
No, not at all. No, I'm not saying. I'm more talking about Dustin's character.
Sure.
You know, as opposed to something detrimental that might have
No,
happened.
but you're absolutely right. I mean, there are guys who
like he didn't make a call on that strip thing that in the first half.
Right,
you know,
which we really thought went the other way. That's a nice pull.
Oh,
that's a nice pull. That's actually
did he
caught.
Drop that?
I don't know.
That looked like he dropped that. I don't think JB saw it because he was
Derek,
behind him.
Yeah, gets it up to 19. Bryce Ring, who pops it to Ken Alexander. Blady flick to Arsenault. No, he left his feet. That's out. Yes, he left his feet before he left the ground. He left the ground before he landed out of bounds.
He caught it,
that
but
was
his first
definitely out.
His first point in contact was his hand
out of bounds.
His hand with the disc
That's
out of
right.
bounds.
That's right. That's a great call by Dan Moraski. Timeout by Esser. Timeout called before they saw it. And Arsenault has no reason whatsoever to complain there. That's the second timeout for the Phoenix. Absolutely. He dove. He left. I mean, we have the catbird view of this. His feet left the ground before he got anywhere close to that disc.
It was in our living room.
Yes, it really was.
His feet was off there, and it was a hell of a catch. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but his first point of contact was with his hand, with the disc in it, out of bounds. So now we got the Phoenix trying to come up with some kind of upwind. This will be a big goal for the Phoenix if they can reel it in here. They go up by 4 with just over 5 minutes left to go. I mean,
while that was a great effort on Alec Arsenault's part, as it always is.
Oh, it was a ridiculous catch.
Yeah, it was a ridiculous catch, but he was clearly out. And that's a terrific call by Dan Moraski, bred of both experience and position. He was Johnny on the spot. And
he had a good view of it too. Moraski did.
Yeah,
and,
excellent view.
Yeah, and I think he made the right call.
Oh, he did. There's no question in my mind. If I owned a house, I would bet it on that call. Sean Mott picking up the disc at the 30.
New stall count starts over at 0.
That's right. And, of course, Ottawa got a chance to put in their D-line. Oh, Ethan Peck drops the disc right in the middle of the field. Loiseau, and nobody's covering these guys running it up. Big hammer, as usual. Oh!
Wow.
Big hammer. Now, of course,
they've been reeling those in.
You know, if they're going to talk about the disc never lies, the Phoenix just got it back. So I'll go along with that. We have a pickup field or something, or contact? No, they're bringing it back. So it's Himalaya Meta.
Clock is
He's
running.
asking why wasn't that a foul, a contact foul on?
There's been no double whistle.
Or no. See, Campbell is calling them back. Joe Campbell's calling one thing. I think Dan Moraski's calling another.
The clock is running. There's been no double whistle.
Stop the clock. You ought to stop the clock if the refs are having a discussion.
But they're not only on a double whistle or an X over their head.
Yeah.
And they haven't whistled any of it.
Yeah, no, we should stop it, though. That's too long.
I stopped the clock.
Yeah, I think you're wise. They're taking way too much time. There you go. Now he spins the clock in, see? Yeah, Trey Katzenbach, falling down to get that catch. Back out to Peck, over to Mike Arcata. who looks for the flick in the middle, fakes to Trey, and then puts a big floaty dump to Trey Katzenbach. They have no timeouts left, so they can't call one. Trey is going to have to just launch it. They're calling a stall over here on the Ottawa sideline, but not on the field. Somehow I don't think that's going to matter. Ethan Peck. Oh! And Mensah gets in front of that enough to distract Sean Mott, and it's another turnover. Definitely Sean could have had that, but that's a nice play by Mensah to distract them. Boucher with an easy backhand in for the goal to Matthew O'Brien.
There is a huge difference between 21-18 and 2019.
Yeah, there sure is.
And the Phoenix had the opportunity.
That's a
let
real
it slip
shame.
Through their fingers.
And we're going to give Paul Mensah a little bit of distraction. It wasn't a bad throw. He just made a great play to get in on it. So Ottawa can't complain about the outcome of that point because they got it after all anyway. Although, the whole kerfuffle started over Arsenault leaping out of bounds. But now they will have a chance to make a D play here.
If anybody says it's easy up here, they should come sit in this
Yeah,
chair,
right.
So
we have both Alexanders and Arsenault with Renault, Ring, and Adam O'Donnell just having a little tete-a-tete on the sideline, getting ready for the next O point. Trey Katzenbach to Sean Mott for the Phoenix, and Himalaya Mehta closes that out nicely to prevent Laurent Doisseau from getting in on it. That's a nice pull across field that floats enough for Trey to get over there.
Trey with a nice read on that.
Yes, he did. Didn't go early. Sean Mott on the far side at the 30. Thinking about that lefty backhand, going instead with an inside flick to Ethan Peck down at the Ottawa 34. A little air bounce that almost gets stripped, and he gets contact. They're trying to call a travel, but Dan Muraski is properly giving that a contact foul on Himalaya Mehta. They hacked his arm as he was trying to throw. Really not a tough one. And Trey gives it back to Himalaya. Easy backhand to Sean Mott. Takes it on his knees, and we hope he didn't bump anything. So Himalaya Mehta with his first assist of the game, and Sean Mott with his second goal.
Sean Mott laying on his back in the corner of the end zone, flips the disc over his head, and as it comes down to him, he kicks it. Kick spike.
Kick spike.
Very inventive.
And we have Nick Patel, Eric Nardelli, Greg Martin. And Colin Massino out there along with Casey Vaughn. And, of course, Dylan Smith.
Getting down to the nitty-gritty here. 2:55 left.
2:55 in the game. And Greg Martin just talking a little bit. So we have the big guns out here. Loiseau, Alexander Arsenault, O'Brien, Ring, other Alexander. Derek with the disc at his own 26. Looking for something deep and not finding it. Oh, a big, nice laser backhand down to Loiseau. That is a Mother Nature stuff. We'll give Loiseau, we got to give Loiseau the turn on that for a
He was shaking his head as soon as
sure
it left
did.
his head.
He sure did. And over on the far sideline, 85, who was supposed to be Dave Wentzel, but it's Mike Campanella,
right
and
back.
it's turned immediately. Fellas, come on. Derek Alexander again with the disc with Nick Patel on him. And this time he does a little pop floaty thing.
Push pass.
That somehow works to Arsenault.
A
push pass that's just ridiculous.
Like some Ultimate
Arsenault's
players,
fifth goal.
Some Ultimate players, the wind doesn't
Derek Alexander's
matter.
sixth assist. And this is we may be one off because I still don't have the first couple that we had here until we got in our groove. Holy Monroney, folks. It's 21-20.
How do you throw a high-release flick and a push pass
and make them complete?
In the same direction you're going, when somebody throws a backhand and it just gets turfed.
Crushed.
I mean, how does that
It's crazy. So here we have, for lack of a better term, a must goal for the Phoenix. Just to relieve the stress. Trey is out there. Ethan Peck, Dustin Damiano, Mike Arcata, Sean Mott, Ben Davies, and Himalaya Mehta. And we have a big pull from Nick Boucher that sort of stalls and settles gently at the 23 of the Phoenix, where Damiano picks it up, looks deep for a moment, and then cuts in through the middle of the cup with Himalaya Mehta almost stripped by Loiseau, the elder, or the larger, actually. I don't know if he's older. Ethan Peck to Mike Arcata. A big floaty backhand that's for what? Oh, Mike, what a turn. That was just way too high. Yeah. Way too high. And now they've gone deep, and Mike gets the D, but goes underneath. It was after the play. No, we're calling the contact. Oh, no, he's saying no contact. He's saying no contact because it was after the disc. I think that's the call. Was after the disc went by.
That was a dangerous play, though.
It was in some senses, but they were running down the field together. It's hard to.
We're still running with the clock at 1:14, 1:13 left as the Phoenix are marking this off.
Right, till it's 30. You keep running it. Ethan Peck swinging over to Damiano. Work the disc, boys. Burn the clock. And Mike Arcata, or score. Either one works. And Mike is going for the score to Ethan Peck. And that is going to be a score. Very nicely done. Mike will give it back to you, baby. What a throw. What a throw.
It was a
clock
dime.
is stopped at 52. And Ethan Peck with his third goal against 4 assists. Another nice 7-point, well-rounded game for Ethan. Less whoever scored the first goal for the Phoenix, which I still don't have. But that's a heck of a play, and a little teeny bit of breathing room with 52 seconds. Ottawa's going to have to go, stuff, and go again. And that ain't going to be easy.
It's they're facing a little bit of an uphill climb, no question.
They are.
But the Phoenix can. Maybe the Phoenix force a quick turnover and score and just seal the deal here.
Oh, that'd be lovely, too. We'd go for that. We would go for that. Greg Martin putting a little high this time, but holy cats, it's settling very nicely. Just straight down. Look at that. Boom. At the 13. What a nice pull. And who but Derek Alexander has on to this? And since it's, not inside 30, the clock started when that landed. So he took 7 seconds to decide where to throw it. And now we're inside 35. In another 5 seconds, that 30-second rule will apply. We have Ochterlony of the Andrew variety with a little backhand over his opponent.
How did he come up with that?
Pollard with the cardinal mistake of swinging at the disc. Oh, my goodness. Instead of just catching it.
Catch.
James
is
never swing at a disc you can catch.
He's raw.
Just catch it.
He's raw, and he does a lot of good things like
play
that at the end of the
on
half.
D all the time, boys. Holy cats. What a give back. And who was that? Loiseau, I think, caught the disc. Carl for the goal. I did not see who threw it.
The Phoenix.
Boy, is that aggravating. No, well, actually, Carl Loiseau caught the ricochet off that to keep it in play, and I think he then threw the goal.
He did through the goal.
Yeah. And it might have been to
20
Alexander.
seconds left.
So Steve is going to focus on clock, and we're going to
stop the clock
on
a goal, foul, stall, timeout, turnover out of bounds.
That's right.
Referee double whistle, X over his head.
And here we go. The disc is up. All they have to do really is complete 3 passes or maybe 4. And we have Trey Katzenbach easy to Ben Davies. Back to Trey, almost gets knocked down by Mensah. And Davies, another Mensah diving to try and get it. Trey Katzenbach looking around. He does not want to get stalled here. Dustin Damiano on the sideline. That's the game, ladies and gentlemen. It's by 1. It's 22-21. What a barn burner. What a barn burner here.
Wow.
That is something else. That is something else. Well, amazing. Exciting, thrilling. It was absolutely the right call on the out of bounds with Wausau.
Eric Hunter is beside himself down there for Ottawa right now.
Yeah, they need to lighten up because it was the right call. 22-21. A great win for the Phoenix. They escape being swept.
They get off the schneid, their losing streak is snapped.
That's right. And you have Ottawa now, the sole cellar dweller. And again, the records in the East do not reflect the difference in the level of play of these teams.
And I'll tell you what, the difference of the Phoenix on the road versus at home is a key component of that because for whatever reason here at AA Garthwaite, they play particularly well. And on the road, it's not that they don't play well on the road. It's maybe they have a hard time.
Well, the Canadian trips, for the reasons we talked about earlier, are understandable. But going to New York and D.C., you don't really face that.
That's true.
But still, New York and D.C., New York is arguably better than last year. I think D.C. is certainly as good or almost as good as last year.
Well, Darryl Stanley's going to have that team improve throughout the year. They're not. They're going to be better than they are now.
Yeah. Well, I think what we have a discussion about here is the catch. The miss on the D play that Mike Arcata made where he then submarined the Ottawa player after the D. But they were both going in the same direction. It just happened to be a way that they fell. The play was made and over.
He missed the
disc. Was on the ground.
He missed it. Well, it seemed to me the Ottawa player in that instance went up to the disc, but instead of concentrating on the disc, he was waiting for the contact.
Right.
And that distracted him from catching the disc.
It could have.
But
I'd love to see the replay.
But then
on
the
that.
contact came through. And there was, according to the refs, the call was it was made.
I'm going to be interested to see what it is about. Folks, we could sit here and talk about this all afternoon. What a great game. Thanks so much again to Nick Halliday, Pat Geriantes, and who's that other guy with the mouth issues? Oh, Len Evans. Just kidding. Len's got that $1 million smile. He wearing his 302 hat out here today. We are so grateful to have their help on all this stuff. And, what an exciting game. I don't know what to tell you, folks. Come on out and watch because this team is worth standing up for or sitting down, as the case may be. And we hope to see you soon out here at AA Garthwaite. Our next game is this coming Saturday against the Pittsburgh Thunderbirds, an interdivisional game. I hope to have youngest son Isaac back on mic with me. That is the plan.
Did I do a terrible
at this
job?
point. No, you did a wonderful job, Stevie, but we need you to focus on clock.
Yeah, I do.
No, and we, again, thanks so much to Steve Leinert for stepping in today, doing double duty. And we will hope to see some of you in person out here next Saturday. 6:30 is game time at AA Garthwaite. And our final game will be the 24th of June, which will be Sunday. So we hope to see you for one of these next two games. And yes, they are the Phoenix discs. Yeah, we need to stop them from taking those. That would be good. The game discs do belong to the Phoenix. We're just being asked about that. So thanks, guys, very much, everybody up here in the booth and out there on the field. And we hope to see you next Saturday night out here at AA Garthwaite in beautiful downtown Conshohocken, Pennsylvania, where the Phoenix today have just gotten by the Ottawa Outlaws 22-21. For Steve Leinert, it's Bailey Saul saying thanks a lot for stopping in with us, and we'll see you next time.